Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV Preview Show for Saturday the 21st of September. It's a doubleheader. We race at Hollywoodbets Durbanville and at the Big T. Plenty on offer. 10 races, Hollywoodbets Durbanville, 9 races at Turfentine. Graham Hawkins on the line for this Hollywoodbets Durbanville race meeting. It's going to be a busy show, so I trust that you, the valued racing fan, as well. We're going to get straight into it with Graham Hawkins with race number 1. That wouldn't be forming part of the exotics. It's an open maiden over 1,400 meters. And introducing Graham Hawkins to the show. Graham, 10 races at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, Turfentine on the go. It's a wonderful day if you're a racing fan.
Absolutely, Dees. The first of 10 off at 11:45. The sun promises to shine brightly, although it could be quite a windy afternoon at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but the stage is set for some good and competitive racing. The first of our feature races, the Settlers Trophy, is top of the bill for this 10-race meeting, but it's very competitive, no standout bankers.
Okay, let's get into it. We bring up the field for race number 1, and I said over 1,400 meters. At the time of recording, no scratchings. This is the way they're betting, Graham. Number 2 is at 5-1. There is money for number 5, Golden Destiny. Dean Kannemeyer, Craig Zaki, 2-1 into 16-10 Hollywood bets. Number 8 at 6-1, and horse number 12 at 5-1. Graham, this horse is being backed, and obviously we know that whilst the horse has been off, we're going to call it, 7 months, Graham. The form line of that Cape Nursery has stood up very well.
Yeah, 2 very good runs back in February. Golden Destiny, third on debut behind One Stripe, and then in the R1 million Nursery, again behind One Stripe, finished a lot closer, just 4 lengths behind. Current fitness is obviously key. There's no doubt that Golden Destiny is probably the best horse in the race and has the brightest future. But, of course, it's not that easy to bring them back from a 7-month rest, but the money's down, or certainly starting to come. We'd like to see some follow through with number 5, Golden Destiny. But I've healthy respect for number 2, Legal Counsel. He's nicely drawn in gate 2. Wasn't a bad debut just the other day behind Empire State. That form has been franked. He finished just 3 lengths behind the winner in 5th spot, and is likely to progress quite quickly from that. And then Water Dragon, what you see is what you get. He's got a bit of a wide draw to overcome. Maneki Neko continues to frustrate. He goes 1,400 meters for the first time. This is an open maiden, and he runs off his lowest mark ever, 69. So although he's been frustrating to follow, you've got to believe that he's got a chance of getting into the mix. Some respect also from a quartet and trifecta perspective for number 4, Palace Gift. But there's no doubt that number 5, Golden Destiny, is the key horse in the race. If he arrives in tip-top condition, then he should be good enough to win after this long break. The immediate danger would be number 2, Legal Counsel.
Must agree with Graham. It all depends on the fitness of number 5, Golden Destiny. Well, the market suggests that he could be 2-1 into 16-10, and that could be a nice way to kick things off. Race number 2 will start off the first exotic. It will be the Barpot. It's over 1,400 meters, and another open maiden, but this time it's for fillies and mares. We bring up the field, have a look at the betting. Number 1 is at 17-10. Number 5 is a blinker strike there, Graham. 6 is at 6-1. 7 at 7-2. And I see number 10. I've taken down the betting for this horse, Graham, because I want you to please lend your thoughts. Richard Fourie for Mike Stewart at 10-1. 13 is at 7-1. And then it's double figures, the balance. You can touch on your selections. I don't know if 10 is part of it, but that's my improver in the race, Graham. And number 10, mid-wicket.
Definite improver, not a bad debut behind Be Merry. Finished alongside Timeline in that race behind Be Merry. Timeline, who's drawn in gate 2, was 6.2 lengths behind Be Merry. Number 10, mid-wicket, was a half a length further back. But Timeline had a few runs coming into that race, and mid-wicket only its first start. So plenty to look forward to from number 10, mid-wicket. I've gone with number 1, My Only Weakness, as my top choice. Also a daughter of One World, like mid-wicket. It's taken a while for the penny to drop. She's beautifully bred. She's the half-sister to Bless My Stars. but she's starting to come right, and from gate one, I have to believe she is the one they all have to beat. She's got a fair amount of racing experience behind her name. She's having her third start at the country course, jumps out of pole position, so she ticks a lot of boxes. I said right at the top of the show, there are no standout bankers. I've made number one my only weakness, a banker in the opening leg of the bipod, which is my suggested bet. It's not a strong race. It's not going to take a lot of winning, and I like the fact that she's now heading in the right direction. She certainly has a 5-star pedigree. But as you mentioned, mid-wicket can certainly improve. The same comment applies to number 13, Sheets and Goggles, but she's got a bit of a wide draw to overcome. Pocket Dial at the weights should be comfortably held by number one, my only weakness. Potential further improvement to come from number 6, Time in Paris. As I said, this is not a very, very deep race, so I'm expecting certainly number one, my only weakness, to at least finish in the top 2, but I think she'll have every chance of winning this from the inside gate.
Yeah, you have to like Graham's thought process here for race number 2. The draw, the form, and hopefully into the number 1 box with number 1, who is priced up as the top one. Place accumulator will begin in race number 3. You need to get on early, 12:55. Race number 3, 1600 meters. Race number 3, number 1 is at 7-2. Horse number 5 at 6-1. Then we have, number 8 is a blinker strike there. 10 is at 4-1 and 11 at 2-1. Graham, when I looked at this race, and these runners that have some form to recommend, they'll be ridding for luck in the early part of the race. I'm talking about horses 10 and 11, and if things don't work out, then it could open the door for one of these other runners, but they look to be the form horses, but drawn wide, 10 and 11.
Certainly, D's, the draws at Hollywoodbets Durbanville can be a great leveler. Numbers 10, Lavender Bay, and 11, Little Susie, as you said, bring the best form into the race and certainly the most potential. Lavender Bay is a 4-year-old. Little Susie, a very, very well-bred daughter of Trippy, has only had the 2 starts. She was expected to win last time out after running second on her debut. She was soundly beaten by Festival Chic, going off at 15-10 on that occasion, Little Susie. But at least Festival Chic has come out to frank that form. In no uncertain terms, Festival Chic stepped into handicap company to win first up after winning that maiden on the 17th of August. There's plenty of upside for number 11, Little Susie. Last time out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, both the runs have been at the country course. She was a little slow out. If she's slow out again, well then, as you say, she's going to have to be ridden for luck. Sansa Stark is well exposed, but she has decent form. She's run fourth. She's had 4 seconds to her credit, and the fact that she's drawn in pole position brings her into the race with a chance. Potential improvers are number 3, Cherry Sky, and 5, Forgotten Song. Both are relatively unexposed and have scope for improvement, are drawn in gates 3 and 5 respectively. So as far as the bipod is concerned, I make number 11, Little Susie, my top choice. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think she's certainly got a touch of class on her side. My second choice would be number 10, Lavender Bay, and Sansa Stark, my third choice. But I've thrown all 3 into this leg of the bipod.
Place accumulator, would you do the same?
Probably. I'm a little concerned that Little Susie is still not the finished product. She's got, as I said, lots of scope for improvement. I think she's out of the Met-winning mare, Oh Susanna, so there's a lot of class in her pedigree. But I think she's still a little bit on the green side. If she gives away start at the gate, she could be on the back foot. But I do think that she must be the one to beat. But I think in the first leg of the place accumulator, you can take your chances by narrowing it down. But 1, 10, and 11. You're likely to double up, and with a bit of luck, you could even triple up. But at least you'll have a bit of cover if things go awry for the favourite.
Yeah, I think that Graham is spot on there. Every chance of trebling up if things work out for the top 3 in the betting. Then the big one, the pick 6. 2 pick 6s on the go, as I mentioned. The Big T and at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So you got lots to play for on the Saturday. And this pick 6 kicks off with a maiden plate over 1,800 meters. Number 1 is trading at 8-1. Horse number 3 at 7-2. 4 at 6-1. 6 is at 4-1. 7 is a scratching. 8 will have the cheek pieces on. I see that number 9, a very interesting equipment change here. Maybe Graham can touch on his thoughts, because the horse was heavily back last time out, Vaughan Marshall's runner, when fitted with blinkers. But the blinkers are off. So what does Graham make of that equipment change? 13 gets a run and apprentice Taka on there. And that is what we have for you at the time of recording. Interesting, Graham, that they backed the horse when fitted with blinkers, and now the equipment change. Number 9.
Well, I'd keep watching the card changes because, like you, I'm surprised because Happy Days wore the blinkers last time out when running second to Groove Jets. I was confidently expecting that the 3-year-old son of One World would have blinkers again. So watch the changes because they've got until tomorrow morning to sort all that out. But I'd be surprised if Happy Days didn't get the blinkers. So it does look a match between Congressman and Happy Days. It's, again, not a very strong race. Congressman was well beaten by Happy Days last time out. But the draw reversal could see Congressman run a better race, and he could get closer on this occasion to Happy Days. It depends how much you trust that Groove Jet form line. I'm expecting it to hold up because there's not much to go around as far as the opposition is concerned. I guess number 1, Courtly, might have scope for improvement. The same comment applies to both numbers 4, Commander Green, and 6, Woodworld. As you mentioned, number 7, Griffin is a scratching. It is a big field, but when you start to weed them out, there's not much left. So although that Groove Jet form line may not be the strongest, I do think that Congressman and Happy Days will have a big say in the outcome of this race. Whether you rely just on those 2 in the opening leg of the pick 6, of that I'm not certain. From a bipod perspective, numbers 3, Congressman, and 9, Happy Days will be enough to get you through. But again, as I say, the blinkers get put back on number 9, Happy Days, before the time of final declaration closes on Saturday morning. As you know, we record the show on a Friday morning.
So that could certainly be the case, that we see the blinkers back on a number 9, Happy Day. So that's leg 1 of the pick 6, and we move on to jackpot 1, which is race number 5. It's the Hollywoodbets Class 3 over 1,400 meters. And let's bring up the field. Very interesting race this, because if Graham can try and narrow things down here, it's going to be a major help. Number 5, blinkers are on. So if you thought it wasn't, the declaration is there. Blinkers are on. That's at 6 to 1. Horse number 6, San Pedro, been off since May. So the question mark will have to be fitness. We'll call it 4 months. That's priced up at 17 to 10. Then we got number 10, which is at 8 to 1. 11 at 7 to 1. But the race, for me, Graham, doesn't stop there. If you're not in the camp of this horse, San Pedro, if you are on the fence with regards to fitness and, whatever you feel could be the issue, that you don't want to go for him coming off this break, then it looks to be an absolute nightmare, Graham. It looks tough because there's lots of form to work around here.
Yeah, we become accustomed to the Hollywoodbets Durbanville race cards being somewhat easier. I say that guardedly, somewhat easier over the first couple of races, and this meeting for me is no exception. We've been through the first 4 races, and we're not expecting too much in the way of upsets. But from race 5 onwards, things betting is a little lopsided. This has great form. He's ideally course-suited. He's won at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He loves 1,400 meters, but he's got 60.5 on his back. He hasn't raced since May. But we did see that Vaughan Marshall the other day brought out that horse Aspect to win 5 in a row of a long break, when we all were sort of wondering whether we could rely on that form of that break, and Aspect came out and blew them away. So Vaughan Marshall knows what he's doing when he brings his horses back. So San Pedro does have the best form, but I do think he's a little sharp in the market. I do think the betting is a little lopsided. And I do think there are others with chances. And I've included 5 horses in this leg of the bipod. So I'm going against San Pedro. But that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if he led them a merry dance here. The one that I really quite like, and I think at 12 to 1 offers great value, is Lindbergh. He lost his way in April and May with two very poor runs, but I liked his comeback run at the country course on the 23rd of August when only beaten 2.5 lengths in fourth spot by Alain Maurice, who runs in the feature race this afternoon. Lindbergh has done well at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He's won his only start over the course and distance. He's getting 4.5 kilograms from San Pedro, and I've always believed that there's more to come from number 4 Lindbergh. So I think at around 12-1, he certainly offers some good each-way value. Oliver is as game and consistent as they come, and as you say, he was guarded without the blinkers, and that was a surprise, like the case with Happy Days. But Adam Marcus has reacted quickly and put the blinkers on to Oliver, so that is a declaration. Tyrion Lannister is also won over at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He's a good run last time out behind Captain Arrow, so maybe he's ready to put his best foot forward. Would I be surprised if the likes of Zumi, Dumbledore, were they to come out on top? I wouldn't. Voorlopig is interesting from pole position. Ignore that pocket power run behind the Futurist. That was that crazy race where the Futurist won by nearly 10 lengths. Judged on his previous form and jumping out of pole position, you've got to respect Voorlopig. And then for me, one of the best horses in the race is number 11, Gallic Dream, but he hasn't raced since December. He comes back off an injury. It's interesting that Richard Faree takes a ride from Eric Sands. A draw is not in his favour, but Gallic Dream could come out fresh and run a big race. I think he's got a lot of talent, number 11, Gallic Dream, but he could just need this run. So yes, San Pedro is the logical first choice, and I guess if you're really solidly in his camp, because as you say, once you look beyond him, it becomes complicated, and you can take your chances and banker him and hope that he comes out with an aspect-like performance after a break. But of the balance, I really like the chances on an each-way play of number 4, Lindbergh. I'm ducking for cover in this leg.
Well, you've heard the word aspect, or the horse aspect, and mentioned a few times by Graham coming off that break and winning. Well, look at 12 and 13. Those could be roughies as well. They ran behind Aspect last time out, and they certainly went disgraced, especially number 13, Charlie Croker. So, Graham, I think the right word he's used there is complicated. That is what the race is. But if it turns out to be a form result and you go for it with number 6, San Pedro, I think you are saving yourself a lot of money in whatever exotic you playing to minimize the spend of that perm. Race number 6, 1,400 meters. Number 2 is at 3-1. Horse number 3 at 4-1. 4 at 5-1. Number 5 is at 4-1. 8 at 6-1. And then I've taken the betting down for horse number 10, Graham, because I like the way she won last time out with Anthony Andrews, and that's trading at 10-1. Whether that's part of your play for the exotics, I don't know. But place accumulator, race number 6, or bipot. How many horses here, Graham?
I've taken a bit of a liberty because it is a competitive fillies and mares race over 1,400 meters. I've gone with numbers 2 Knockout and number 3 Hampstead Heath. They bring good consistent form into the race, and I think they'll go well. The immediate dangers for me are 4 School Policy and 5 Call Me Jetrix. So the minimum of 4 as far as the jackpots and the pick sixes are concerned. The bipod and the place accumulator, I'm happy with numbers 2 Knockout and 3 Hampstead Heath. A word about number 10 Philosophize. She beat the very limited Lady Loxton last time out. Admittedly, before that, her form was consistent. The race she won last time had an average merit rating of 73. She goes up 14 points in terms of average merit rating. This is an average merit rating 87. She should be held by Enchanting Choice. I think it would be my 5th choice. So these races always have the potential to produce upsets, but I'm looking for a form result here. You can't really nail your colours to the mast. I can't say you can go all out and have a bet on the head here. But I'm hoping that Knockout and Hampstead Heath will be enough to get me through, but as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if School Policy or Call Me Jetrix were to end up in the winner's enclosure. That would be my short list of 4. If they fail, then I'm done for the day.
Okay, nice. 4 runners there for Graham from 10, so we got a 40% that is including. Number 3, Hampstead Heath is plus a half kg. Grant Van Niekerk, who has the blinkers on. Race number 7 is Jackpot 2. Yep, there are 10 races carded. So races 7, 8, 9, and 10. You need to work out that perm. Settlers Trophy. Graham did mention this at the top of the show. That is their main event at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. It's for a stake of 200K. It's over 2,000 meters, and it's attracted a good field. Number 2, Pardanom, is carrying 52 kgs and trading at 5-1. 3, Rabidash at 9-2. 5, Pontepetre, who certainly has let me down in the past, but he's a character, this horse. He takes a certain type of ride, and he never helps you in the race. 33-10. Number 6, Call to Unite at 6-1. 7, Sakdev at 6-1. 8, Ale Murray at 5-1. And 9, the only rose in the race, is Love is a Rose, and that is trading at 6-1. A quality field, Graham. Nice to get things off, warming up at Hollywoodbets Durbanville with this listed race. A very good race.
Very good race, intriguing race, competitive. It is a handicap, and they're closely matched. So I think you've got to go pretty wide here. Without discounting his winning chances, I'm a little surprised to see Pontepetre at the top of the boards. I expect him to ease in the market. Not that there's going to be a heavy betting move for any of the other runners, such as the competitive nature of the race. So to cut to the chase, Pardanom did us a favor by winning at a big price last time out. He's a Hollywoodbets Durbanville specialist. He's had 4 starts for 3 wins and 1 second at the country course. He comes in with 52 kilograms. He's clearly in a good space. Whether this race, being 11 days after his last win, comes too soon, only the race will show. So I'm going in the direction of number 2, Pardanom, who's in fact the stable companion to Pontepetre, who's got to give him 8 kilograms. Pontepetre, of course, ran a cracking third in the Whirlpool Gold Cup over 3,200 meters, warms up his engines for the Cape season here. But I expect Pardanom to finish ahead of Pontepetre, although this race definitely has the field look about it. Rapid Dash beat Kaya Shorthead last time out, was penalised 5 points for that win despite the narrow margin, so he's got it all to do under 59.5. Call to Unite is interesting. Rachel Venniker flies into town to partner Call to Unite for owner Nick Johnson. Definitely up in class. A little bit under sufferance, but clearly progressive, well-bred, could be anything as the season unfolds. Don't discount the chances of Sachdev. He won at the course in November last year. He likes it here, and he's pretty well treated at the weights compared to other horses here. Alema Reese comes in with 52. He's got Love is a Rose, Stone Cold at the weights. This is just an intriguing handicap. Even the 2 longer-priced runners, Solar Power and Navy Strength, have some winning claims. So this is a real tough race. D's, and if you want to go the field, I certainly wouldn't put you off. My hesitant selection, 2, 8, 3, and 7. Those are the 4 runners that are included in the final leg of the bipot.
Okay, that is it. I just want to give you some information with regards to Pardanom. If you're wondering why Craig Zaki is not riding, 53.5 is his bottom weight. And if you're wondering why he's not riding 5 Pontepetre, well, Dean Canamere did mention to me that Craig mentioned to him during our KZN champion season that he just doesn't feel he gels with the horse, and he should try another jockey. And therefore Sereno Mudley, and then to the latter part of the season, Sean Veal. And I see Sean gets a ride there. So don't read too much into that as to why Craig Zaki is not riding. That is the reason. So we move along to race number 8, and this is over 1,600 meters. And let's get straight into it, Graham. We're at the latter part of the race meeting now. It is the last pick 3 on the card. It could be a nice way to end things off. Number 2, Noshan, 33-10. What a win last time out. Really enjoyed that ride from Oswald Noach. 5 at 4-1, 6 at 3-1, and 9 is at 3-1, 10 is a scratching, and 11 is at 6-1. Yeah, Vaughan Marshall's in excellent form, Graham, regardless of where his horses are priced up in the betting. They all seem to be running very well. And I'm referring to Noshan, who was a decent price last time out, Graham.
Yeah, and he has every chance of following up. He beat Mohandas. Of course, the form of that race is open to question, but the fact of the matter is that the average rating there was a 72, and he's down to an average rating of 61 in this Class 5 handicap. He's got the weight to shoulder because of that. He's got 61 to shoulder. But he'll have every chance of going back-to-back, possibly not in his favour, stepping back the 200 metres. Perhaps he's better over 1,800 metres. But the opposition is decidedly limited. It's a weak race, and certainly Norshan can go back-to-back. Interesting for me that Richard Faree has taken the rider number 9, Unsolved Riddle. His last 2 runs have been good, being by Futura out of a daughter of Silvano. You would have thought that the 1,600 metres would even be more to his liking. It's a distance that he's never tackled before. Lunga Gila's got his string in pretty good order. So I think it's significant that Richard Faree has taken the ride on Unsolved Riddle. So he's got to go onto the short list. Stable Companion Gold Index, who will be ridden by Craig Zaki. You've just given Craig Zaki some air time, and he could certainly run better than he did last time out behind Augusta Blue. Ozark, definitely one of the leading lights. Rachel Wright takes a valuable 1.5 kilos off the 4-year-old's back. So carrying 55, receives 6 kilograms from Norshan. Golden Grey still a maiden. I guess he could get into the minor placings. If you're looking to narrow this race down, but then I would go with numbers 2, Norshan, 6, Ozark, and Lunga Gila's 2 runners, 9, Unsolved Riddle, and 11, Gold Index. That would be the short list of 4, because you can't go wide in every race. We've got a very trappy setlist trophy immediately preceding this race when you're structuring your exotics. So if you're looking to cut this down, 2, 6, 9, and 11 would be the 4 that I would recommend. But is there potential for a huge upset? Of course there is in these type of Class 5 handicaps, but I think we've pretty much got it right. I think Ozark, Norshan, and Lunga Gila's 2 runners, the leading lights.
Okay, 2, 6, 9, and 11. Jot those numbers down. Race number 8 with the scratching of 10. 10 runners go to post, and that is a good cut of the cost of that perm, just adding in 4 runners there. Last double on the card, race number 9 is over 1,250 meters as we bring up the field. Number 1 is at 7-2. Horse number 3 is at 5-1. 4 is at 7-1. 5 at 6-1, 6 at 5-1, number 8, Lover's Lane at 9-2, and 9, Nile the Boss. Graham will give us his thoughts here because Tristan Godden has been given a chance to come down to the Western Cape. I saw him ride for Pit Porter a meeting ago, and he did fairly well some places, and he rides here number 9, Nile the Boss. The reason I mentioned that, Graham, because you're a traveling jockey, you're not used to it, you don't get to ride the horses in the morning, but you just get to sit at them come race time. So as you get to know the horses, you get to improve on them. And Tristan had a nice feel of this horse last time out, Graham, when running second.
There's no doubt that Nile the Boss has got a big chance despite the wide draw in what is another very weak race. The average merit rating here is 58. And Nile the Boss certainly seems to be coming back to form of a current rating of around 62. So she's got to be a competitive runner. This is another nightmare of a race. I need your help here. So I'm happy to be guided by you. But if you like Nile the Boss, then Iskiro, if that's how it's pronounced, number 4, suddenly showed improvement. Is still a maiden, ran second to Heart Stealer, beaten a length in the same race. Now the Boss was a length further back, so the collateral form there does favour number 4, Iskiro, and that kind of puts the level of form into perspective. But at least now the Boss did follow that up with a good second behind Fly to Rio. The horse that most interests me would probably be number 3, Try Me. There was a lot of money for Try Me last time out, from 12-1 into 7-2. She was the talk of the town on that occasion. I wasn't in her camp. In fact, Sheldon and I on that day were both in the camp of Easy Money, who came home at around 10-1. But the fact of the matter is, the money was down for Try Me, so there's obviously something happening back home. And if you go through the collateral form lines, there's not a hell of a lot to choose between the race favourite number 1, Trey Schick, and 3, Try Me. We thought that Trey Schick would find 1,000 metres too sharp last time out. She'll be better suited to this 1250. She has the added advantage of pole position. So I do think Trey Schick might well be the one to beat. But this is a very moderate affair. Try Me's got a chance. We've discussed Iskiro. Solar Trip, still a maiden. but has only 4 starts under the belt. Justin Snaith trains. He's placed the 3-year-old son of Kirari here. Not a bad effort behind Shifting Path. Can improve more. Lover's Lane was in that same race. Nile the Boss. I could go on and on and on about this race. D's, it's a trappy race. 1 and 3 would be my top 2 choices.
So what you're saying, Graham, in a nutshell, is that Pit Botha could hold the key with these 3 runners to the outcome of the race.
There's no doubt he holds a very strong hand. In the old days, if we had the couplings in the pick 6, I would be saying to you, let's take a chance and banker the Pit Botha coupling. But in the pick 6, you've probably got to put all 3 in, numbers 1, 3, and 9. I think Pit Botha is stable, he's in terrific form, definitely holds the key to the outcome of this race.
Okay, I'm just going to add one more runner to those 3 runners from Pit Botha's stable for the pick 6, and it's going to be number 6, Solar Trip, as the backup. Race number 10 over 1,000 meters, fillies and mares. Number 2 is at 5-1. Horse number 4 is 8-10. You're going to have to be the judge if that is the way to go. Then we got horse number 8 at 8-1. And it's double figures the balance. Now, last weekend we did the show, Graham. Does Good, a desperately unlucky second, but we're taking nothing away from the stable companion who you did fancy on the show, Radicchio, winning. It was a good exacta if the boys played it, but it was a good run for Does Good. Now, the reason I say this, Graham, because I found another one here. Always try to find one at the back. And you're going to have to try and help me with this with regards to how they're pricing up this horse at 16-1. I don't know. Number 9, Poke Devar. It's 16-1, Graham. You know, when I was taking down the betting and I saw this 8-10 favorite, who I understand is possibly the right horse in the race, was in excellent form before the layoff. If that form continues, she'll be hard to beat. But Poke Devar at 16-1, Graham, I mean, surely there must be tremendous value in that.
Yeah, she's overpriced, definitely. I mean, she's a 4 times distance winner. She's a 5-time winner. As you said, Nordic Quest brings very, very strong form into the race, but she's got 60 on her back. And she has had good form at this track, so the track shouldn't be a problem for number 4, Nordic Quest. For many, she'll be the nap of the day. Not for me, but for many she'll be the nap of the day. There'll be many who'll be complaining that this race didn't form part of the place accumulator and the pick 6. It does obviously form the last leg of jackpot 2, and there'll be many who'll be playing the final pick 3 by going field, banker 4 in the last and hoping for 2 huge results in the opening 2 legs. You found number 9, Pork Devar, who's my 3rd choice, and I agree he's overpriced at 16-1. I've been waiting for number 8, Blue Holly, to return to Hollywoodbets Durbanville. She's won 3 times from 4 starts at the track. She was carded to run the other day at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and I thought she was a nap that day at a big price, and unfortunately that meeting was abandoned. In the interim, she went up to Fairview to run 2nd to the very decent Cruise Control to keep her fitness levels up. So I'm not for one moment saying that Nordic Quest can be beaten. She represents the strongest form in the race. But you like 9 Pork Devar, who's my 3rd choice. I really like number 8 Blue Holly is at 8-1. No harm in having some trifectas, swingers, exactas, mixing up the 3, 4 Nordic Quest, 8 Blue Holly, and 9 Pork Devar. Those are my top 3. I am going with number 4 Nordic Quest as my top choice, but I'm going to be backing Blue Holly on an each-way basis and then taking swingers, perhaps with your choice 9 Pork Devar, who offers just equally good each-way value at around 16-1. So, yeah, this could be a one-horse race, or it could turn out to be a lot more competitive. I'm looking for Blue Holly to upstage the favourite. You're looking for Pork Devar to upstage the favourite. But I think maybe the 3 of them as triple floating bankers in the quartet and playing around those numbers could yield results.
Well, it was Does Good and Radicchio when we last did the show together for last weekend. This weekend, to end things off, maybe it could be Blue Holly and Poke Devar. But we have a ton of respect, and we know that that is the horse to beat. Therefore, in the red, Nordic Quest. That's how we end things off, race number 10. But we still got Graham's exotic to go through, and as it comes up on the screen, we'll have a look at what bet it is. That's 246. It is a bipod. So, Graham, take it away. Your bipod is on screen.
Gone for the bipod D's because I do believe at least the first couple of races are perhaps easier than the last couple of races. Gone with number 1, My Only Weakness as a banker in the opening leg, which is race 2, off at 12.20. Then going with numbers 1, 10 and 11, Sansa Stark, Lavender Bay and Little Susie. Just numbers 3 and 9, Congressman and Happy Days in the third leg. Looking to upstage San Pedro, who might be too good for them, but I'm going 4, 5, 6, 7 and 11. I think Lindbergh represents good each way value in that race. Penultimate leg, numbers 2 and 3, Knockout at Hampstead Heath. The principal dangers would be 4, School Policy and 5, Call Me Jetrix. Settlers Trophy, an intriguing race, is the last leg of the bipod. I'm going 2, Pardenom, 3, Rapid Dash, 7, Satch Dev, and 8, LA Maurice. I think that's going to be a very, very good race to watch, and there's good value to be had, whatever you fancy. So that's my bipod for Saturday's meeting at Hollywoodbets Durbanville.
Just works it out, Graham. It's 240 Rand for a full spend of 48 Rand will give you 20%, and you can multiply things out. As we're doing the show early on a Friday morning, I didn't speak to Graham about the weather where he is situated, which is in the Western Cape. But Graham, I can tell you early this Friday morning, I'm just looking out the studio. The heavens have opened up here at Hollywoodbets Greyville.
Yeah, there's a snow forecast for KZN. I see parts of KZN. There's plenty of rain at Fairview. We record on a Friday morning, so what's quite going to happen with the Friday afternoon meeting at Fairview, whether it survives on the turf track or gets switched to the poly, I don't know. But let's not complain about the rain in KwaZulu-Natal. D's, it was a particularly dry winter. Durban needs the rain, so let's welcome it with open arms.
Thank you for your time, Graham.
Cheers, D's.
Thanks to Graham Hawkins on behalf of the Gallop TV team and myself, D's Diner, and to you, the valued racing fan. Have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day if you are racing at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.